Welcome everyone. This is Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, July the 18th, 8:39 p.m. Thank you so much to everybody that's online right now. We're about 10 people live. Thank you so much for your support. Before we start, we have a lot to talk about. Two draws, 2 points out of six possible points. A lot to talk about regarding Orlando City's performance. A lot of people mentioning Pareja, also what's going to happen with Oscar Pareja. We're going to talk what's coming next for Orlando. The road towards the playoffs is we're heading towards that now as well. And Nicolas Gioacchini, right? That's the next OCSC striker that apparently the club is targeting. He's on his way to the United States from France to sign his deal with Orlando City. 22-year-old U.S. men's national team striker. Let's see. We're going to discuss that and more, see if he's a good fit for Orlando. What other targets do we have also, right? Drop us a comment, subscribe to the channel. Before we start, I want to encourage everyone to obviously subscribe to our Twitter account at LPO_podcast. Go to our Facebook, our YouTube, click on the notification bell for all notifications. And also, keep supporting us, right? Also, I want to thank Moraima, right? I want to just give her a shout out. We did a redo on our logo, and I wanted to thank her personally for such a great job she did. And, much love to her and her family and everything. Thank you so much for always supporting us, Moraima, from the bottom of our hearts for sure. And, again, drop us a comment and we'll read all of them, right? We'll read all of the comments. So thank you so much again. And Dave, how are you, my friend? Two draws. What are your thoughts from the get-go?
Disappointing. When you're leading to concede, it's. I always say that on ties, if you are the team that ties the game, you sort of leave like in a good mood. But if you're the team that allows the tie to happen, it feels sort of like a loss. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that feeling. But yeah, I join you in thanking our friend Moraima for the logo. I believe he has a name already, Pepito. So there
Right.
we go. And obviously, we're going to be talking about what happened in Colorado, what happened in Atlanta. I would like to mention OCB came from behind after being down 3 goals to win it 4-3 at Chicago. So that very impressive. A lot of love for the guys. Also, I would like to thank this Twitter user. She has been around for a very long time at Anna Ken. That's Anna Kennedy. She broke the news of our newest signing accidentally. She just found herself in the same flight as this new Orlando City player back to the U.S. and took everybody by surprise. So she's super excited about that. And I told her, I said, you should, because this podcast has tried, and everybody that covers Orlando City has tried to find who we are signing, and there was nothing out there. And anytime we've been out in public, you guys always try to ask us, and unfortunately, we have to say no. So we are gonna be talking about that. And last, Paola and I were at the OC Fan TV um, uh, watch party yesterday. There was about a nice group, about 40 people there. There was a lot of people that I didn't recognize that definitely were not listeners of our pod. Talked to a few people. It was pretty cool, pretty exciting. Tin Roof is a great venue over there on I Drive, so I encourage everybody to attend to one of the watch parties. The guys do a great job, and hopefully they will have another one this year. But I believe this might be the last one. So anyhow, it was good to see Paola, her fiance. We had a great time talking about the game and things like that. So with that, I gave the microphone to Paola.
Good to be back, guys. Like every Monday. About the result, better than nothing. Let's leave it like that. It
I
was a
agree on that.
bittersweet. Um, I don't have any comments about the Colorado game. I didn't watch it since the beginning. I was doing work stuff, and then sorry. Um I just watched Facundo goal, that beautiful goal, and then we considered a goal, beautiful goal. Anyways, but better than nothing. We walk out with a point, and then yesterday with another point. At least Dwyer didn't score, Joseph Martinez didn't score. It is what it is. We move on. But I spent the afternoon with David, and then with the OCV TV fan. I had a good time, so it was a good weekend. Glad to be here again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, unfortunately, because of work and because of things I had to attend, I couldn't go to the party, unfortunately. But there'll be a time. I'm sure I'll be able to meet everyone there. Yeah, definitely appreciate it, and the support you guys provide the outlet, and as well to the club to being very receptive on our content. So thank you so much. To talk a little bit about Colorado, first and foremost, I want to thank Maria Alejandra Rodriguez. She is a colleague of mine. We covered, the U.S. women's national team at some point. She's from this website in Colombia called Femina Football that talks about women's soccer, and we met there. And she recently moved to Colorado, and she was able to take some pictures for us. So I want to definitely thank her for that. She was there, and I also want to give thanks to Colorado Rapids Communications because they accredited her really fast. They already knew who we were, so definitely appreciate the buzz that we're having throughout the league. It's very important for us to be recognized as an outlet outside of Orlando, so definitely appreciate that to all the people in Colorado that were very nice to her. Um, it was Colorado. A lot of people don't mention it. It's a very good team. It was not going to be easy to face Colorado and to face Atlanta back to back. Again, yes, there's a lot of things to improve. For sure, it's still the same things that we've been mentioning in the show. Episode after episode. One common denominator, though, I'm gonna say is Pedro Galese. Uh, I really want to hope that the club has his renewal, his contract ready to go for him to sign, because nothing to take away from all the other two keepers that we have in the club, but he is. If he wasn't for Peru and going to fight for his country, he definitely would be the best keeper in the MLS right now. He saved both games for Orlando City, in my opinion. He was the best player on both games, and that level of performance is not just something that should be said from like me just saying it. It has to be rewarded with a better contract. I know that I'm maybe stepping on people's toes right now, but time is ticking. He loves this city. He loves Orlando. His family is very happy here. But also, I mean, look at the performances he's delivering, right? That needs to be taken care of right away. It needs to be announced as well promptly, because you don't want another club with a lot of money, to put him against the ropes and put more cash on it, because in the end, this is a career, right? And you have to make the right decisions for your family. So I commend Pedro Galese for such a great performance. Colorado has always been a tough team. In my opinion, um, Orlando, Torres becoming influential right there with the goal. Antonio Carlos being back, I think he's one of the top center backs in the MLS if he didn't get injured. He played the whole 90 minutes, and he definitely was the tandem in defense on that game. He had 7 clearances, 2 blocks, 1 tackle, 2 interceptions. Those are fantastic numbers for somebody that hasn't played in a long time, right? Also, we have a depth issue. I do believe that we have a depth issue in the sense that we our subs are not being impactful in the game. When the substitutions are made, the subs are not really making a lot of noise, and I think that it shows when it comes to the lack of finishing and the lack of attacking. And again, there's some players that are definitely the rotation that is working for them, and one of them is Kyle Smith, in my opinion. And Teshua Kindele does work when you want to play defensively, but not when you want to make it your starting striker. I think that's a mistake at that point, in my opinion. But when you make him come in on the second half to contain the game, or to, how you call it, park the bus, right, or play defensively, he excels on that level, in my opinion. Now, another common denominator, and then I give the mic to Dave, on both games, but I'll start with Colorado, is Mauricio Pereira. Whoever said, I don't care what platform it is, that said that this guy's trash, I hope the seven plagues hit him, because if it wasn't for Mauricio Pereira, Orlando right now would not have any attacking prowess in the attacking third. He is detrimental for Orlando City. You take him away, the team falls apart in the mid. So, I mean, the goal he scored, obviously superb against Atlanta, but then in Colorado too, he was shining. So, Dave, what are your thoughts on this Colorado game?
Absolutely. First, to correct you, Luis, it's 10 plagues. 10 plagues,
Oh,
and I
10
know
plays.
it's 10 plagues. I know because
I
every year during Passover we count them. So, anyways,
My
um,
bad. I
no,
failed
no, no,
the
it's all
religion
good, brother. It's
class.
all good. I just want to add the extra plagues to the idiots making those type of statements. No, in all seriousness, guys. Colorado, we said this last time, last Monday, is a very difficult place to play. It's the second hardest place to play in North America after Mexico City. Is The altitude is a factor, in my opinion. Several of the miscues that our players had were due to that. Players like Facundo, like Cara and Araujo, who are new to MLS, are used to flat lands because Uruguay and the part of Austria where got us from, it's completely flat. I know people associate Austria with the sound of music, but that's the westernmost part of the country, and there's no first division teams in that area. So you got to remember that, when you're playing in Austria, first division, you're playing only where the teams are located, and they are mostly in the eastern part of the country. So this was an experience for them, for many of them, to play in altitude. Disappointing, a golazo from Facundo Torres, plain and simple. Uh, my concern is that usually when we score early, it means that we have to defend for most of the game because we're just not getting that second goal. Our highest scoring game has been against DC. It was 3 goals, and we lost. So imagine that. Then after that, conceding to CJ Sapong, to me, it's bad. But CJ Sapong is such a great player. Part of me gets frustrated at the fact that this journeyman striker who goes out there and delivers every single time, and who was part of Zaloni of Orlando City in USL, we didn't make any attempts to snatch him out of the market. He just did what he had to do. He scored. In sorry, was it no, it was Zardes. What am I talking about? It was
Oh,
Zardes.
Jesse Sardes. Jesse
Yeah,
Sardes.
just yeah.
Right.
Zardes, former national team. So forget what I just said. Not former national team, great player and very dangerous. They scored. Now, if I take anything out of it, and I also join Luis when it comes to Pedro Galese. Pedro Galese saved us from being defeated. If you look at Colorado, who's not a playoff team, went and defeated 2-0 over the weekend. LA Galaxy, which right now LA Galaxy
Yeah.
is riding
It's
high.
it's hot. Yeah.
It's hot, but if you go watch the highlights, This past two games have been Pedro Gales's highlight reel to
That's
the
right.
front office saying, "I am worth every penny you have paid me and every penny that you should be paying me." A lot of people are like, "Well, we don't need a DP." Goalkeeper, and I don't really want to pay him a lot of money. Listen, whatever the team has to do, we have to do it with Pedro Gales on goal. I mean, the saves at Colorado were one thing. The saves at
Atlanta. Ay, ay,
Atlanta
ay.
were incredible. Were incredible. When you have a team, and I don't want to get ahead because obviously Paola hasn't said her impressions of Colorado, but when you see the opposition, Atlanta, place that has no love for us, how the opposition talks to Pedro, they talk
Yeah.
with a respect and a professionalism, because they know that scoring against Pedro Galese, it's very difficult. You have, I mean, you have to be at the top of your game, and that's pretty much it. I'll leave it at that. Tying at Colorado, disappointing. I wish we would have won, but we gotta take the point. We gotta move on. Obviously, we did over the weekend. We're gonna talk about that next. Paola.
I agree with what you just said, David. I got home at the minute when they tied. I didn't watch when Sardis scored. I was confused. I was like, "Wait, what? We were just winning. What happened?" And then I watched the goal. And I was like, "Ugh, typical of us, letting the other team score." But um, the audacity of not letting Galese on the MLS team
All star.
All Star week, whatever of this week, but we can let that in the few minutes to talk about it. But anyways, he was team of the week because of his performance in Colorado. And if because of him, we we would have lost. That's the reality because the little that I watched, he saved a few attempts. Another thing, it I get frustrated because I want I want to win, and typically away because we need to secure the 3 points is hard. Like you say, Luis, Colorado is not an easy. It's not easy. Period. The altitude. Urso, you can see Urso in the end. He was having issues running, and I was like, "Ooh, Urso can normally he's running all the places around. He was having issues, so it is what it is. We stole a point. I'm not going into details because I didn't watch the entire game, but I know that Galese had a heck of performance. I love what I saw about the golazo of Facu. I want to see that more of those set pieces, and we cannot like settle with these in the beginning, David said. Like settling in the beginning when we scored in the beginning of the game.
I know that looking in this, this is a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2, but converted as a Pato being a 10, playing the 10. But it's a 4-4-1-1. This is a defensively mindset game from the get-go. You can tell by having four mids, four defenses, and literally your only striker is Gioacchini. Now, Alexandre Pato could take the ball and maybe go to the right and be a second striker right there, or he can go to the left and be a second striker and Tisha could go to the right. But, this is not I'm going to, come out and get the game from the get-go. This is being very conservative in defense, and I think we're putting a lot of pressure on our defense. We're putting a lot of pressure on having outstanding performances on Pedro Galese, but from the attacking third, we're not generating anything. And this is something that is very, we have to definitely, Orlando needs to keep, take a look at. Just to give you an idea, and I wrote this here. Orlando has only scored 2 goals in the last 5 games. In just so 2 goals in just 5 games this season, and in the last 11, they've only done it 3 times. So I mean, when you have that, unfortunately, you're not creating plays. I mean, you are creating with Mauricio there. You have to create because he's like a magician, when it comes to creating attacking plays. But we're not taking advantage of set pieces. We're not taking advantage. So we lack depth in attack wholeheartedly. And I know Gaston Gonzalez is not up yet. It's not available. But and I know next season looks promising. But this is a long season, right? And Orlando needs to make the playoffs. I do still hope that Orlando will make the playoffs. I do have a lot of. I'm very positive on Orlando making playoffs. I cannot right now say like other people that are talking, saying, "Well, if things are going wrong, playoffs are non-existent here." No, we cannot jump into conclusions. It's disrespectful to tell somebody like Facundo Torres you're not going to make playoffs. This is respectful of somebody to Antonio Carlos, tell them you're probably not going to make playoffs. Who are you to tell them they're not going to make playoffs? I believe that every single player in that particular team wants to make playoffs. The whole problem that I see here is we just our depth, man. We need somebody there. So here it comes, Nicolas Gioacchini. I want to know, and I want to say that he's definitely going to be the striker Orlando, right? It's coming in to just start too with Kara, right? There's going to be games for Kara. There's going to be games for Gioacchini. Now he could play the wing too, and that's fantastic because we need some plays on the wing as well. But is he a player that's going to make a huge impact right away? Or are people are going to jump into conclusions and then crucify him once he doesn't score in the first 4 games? So we have to be honest here. We have to be completely honest. So if there's a new player coming in, I want to think that the front office has already evaluated him and he's ready to go. Now we need more depth. I think we need one more defender, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think we need one more defender. I don't know. What are your thoughts there, Dave, regarding that?
No, absolutely. A little bit on Nicolas Gioacchini, born in Kansas City, Missouri, KCMO. He's going to be 22 here on the 25th of July. I watched some video on the kid fluent in French. I was surprised. I was very, very amazed how he took on the language. I mean, he did interviews, no problem. Um, he's of Jamaican Italian ancestry. The uh, the team where he was at, Caen, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, had 49 appearances, 6 goals. Then he was sent on loan to Montpellier with 28 appearances, 0 goals, and then to Montpellier B, 3 appearances, 4 goals, and for the United States, 8 appearances and 3 goals. So like you said, signing somebody is better than signing nobody. I know people want names because obviously other clubs have done so. We don't know if those names are gonna pan out. We just gotta concentrate on our house, our journey to the playoffs, and obviously to Open Cup. I gotta tell you, these are the stats for the Colorado game. Obviously, Facundo Torres goal on 22nd minute, 65th minute for Sardis. Shots 19 for Colorado, 12 for Orlando City, 7 on target for Colorado, 4 for Orlando City. Possession 51% for Colorado, 49 for Orlando. Chances created 4 for Colorado, 0 for us. That's concerning. And corners 5 for Colorado and 4 for us. Um, you know, a game that again Pedro Gales kept us in. We definitely have to make some moves, my friends. We have a little room. When pressed, Luis Musi has said that that we are not gonna be making huge signings because obviously where our roster is right now. Mind you, we are one of the lowest rosters. We're spending less money, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, guys. That's not, we are getting quality without selling, mortgaging the farm. Basically, what I'm trying to say. And Nicholas here, young kid, talented, obviously enough talent to go to Europe. Unfortunately, he couldn't get playing time. He has aspirations of the national team, and we're getting him on a free. I'm excited about this one because some of our greatest signings have been on freeze. Some of our greatest signings have been on freeze. Some of the legendary players that people chant their names, and when things go bad, they're like, "Oh, I wish we still had so and so or this other guy, whatever." Those are the guys that come on freeze. Um, and I wish them the best. And like you said, Luis, we have to be very cautious because we can be firing from the hip. We can't have the Zlatan moment where the guy comes in first game, throws a golazo.
Right,
No,
right. That's right.
not everybody's that, and we have to, young kid too. We have to allow him to meet
You know,
his teammates, to get acclimated to Orlando and to our playing style, etc., etc. And again, I have some information on how the season's gonna be playing out, that we're gonna be discussing, and you guys gonna see that not everything is gloom and doom. We still have great opportunities to make the playoffs. Where that will be determined by the team itself. So let's listen. Let's support the kid. He's here. He's here in Orlando tonight. So we'll see what happens. Paola.
let's yeah, go ahead, Paula.
Hey, like David said, it's better than nothing. We were so quiet that I was concerned, and I was talking to David yesterday. I was like, I don't know, this silence is like it's worrying me. And then this morning I saw Twitter. I was like, whoo, all eyes on this kid. So I don't know anything about this player, I'm gonna be honest, but it's better than nothing. I hope he will get acclimated with the team as soon as possible. I'm not expecting 5 goals in the first game. I'm not expecting the first 1 goal. Not like, it's better than nothing. It's better of what we have right now. Let's the kid play with the team. So let's see. Let's see what he does.
Sure. Let's read some comments. Marco Antonio says, ¿Para qué traen un delantero? Mejor fichen a un defensa. Why are you bringing a striker? Better you sign a defender. That's what he
We need
said.
both.
Yeah. Mark Rodriguez, saludos a los tres. Un saludo, Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Well,
Dennis Simmons says, Pega Lese. Carries ineffective with lack of service in Papi system. Want to see more of Pato. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I think definitely Galesi deserves to get paid whatever he wants to get paid. I think he needs to be the one of the top best keepers. I mean, paid keepers in the MLS, in my opinion. And we'll talk about the MLS All Star. I think that's. I mean, I'm gonna say right now. I honestly don't care at this point. The MLS is going to push MLS grown talent to go to Europe. Galese was not bred in the MLS. I'm just saying it not in a negative way. I'm saying it in Galese already was an international stud when he came to Orlando. He already played national team. Eslonina, in my opinion, he cannot tie his shoes. Eslonina cannot tie his shoes, and he's going to be signed to Chelsea. What's his name? Matt Turner can't tie his shoes either. Can't tie Galese's shoes, in my opinion, either. And because CONCACAF and CONMEBOL level is high intensity level. U.S. playing CONMEBOL, playing against Brazil, Venezuela, Uruguay, Bolivia in the altitude. I mean, this is going to be tough conditions the U.S. has never been exposed to. Any of their keepers have been exposed to, unless it has in back-to-back years, while outperforming in the MLS with Orlando City. So that's not taken into consideration. What's taken into consideration is all the stats. Let's see how many games he had, and on that takes in consideration. They treat this like this is baseball or basketball or football. It is more than that. I think the MLS needs to get better at that. They need to reward actually players that actually outperforming not only in the national level, but also in the club level. And I think Alessa does both. But then again, we don't make the rules. So, and I think he'll be okay. We just have to ink him. He needs to be inked again for 2 or 3 more seasons. And I think that should be Orlando's motto right now moving forward for Pedro Galese. Orlando City Fan TV, he had a couple of good performances in the Gold Cup. Yeah, go ahead. Definitely. How you doing, my friends? Jim D, sign everybody and everyone. We need it. That's right. I'm going to say, before I give the pass to Dave, Nicolas Gioacchini. All right. Personally, I like to be very positive is yes, he is a young kid. He's gonna be 22 very soon. He's a young, talented player with a lot of room to grow and develop. In my opinion, I see this as a low risk, high reward type of player. Meaning is there is a chance that Pareja could mentor him and do his magic. He could adapt to his system and then he could excel tremendously. And getting him, like Dave said, on a free, and not only that, he won't require an international spot. I think it's great. And another thing that I want to say that is a great move is that you can see that Orlando is letting go of signing, the Higuains of the world, right? That 35 and up players, right? Orlando is trying to sign young, talented players like maybe Cara, Facundo Torres, now Gioacchini. Obviously, he didn't get the chance to excel in the League Two in France. Let's see what he can do in the MLS. And again, I want to say it. We need to support him because he's going to come here. He's going to try to do great. No one comes to a team to say, "Oh, I'm going to suck in this place." No, no, he's going to come here to prove himself. Let him prove himself. But don't be crying after 4 games and he's not scoring and saying, "Oh, what do we do? The Luis Musi needs to go. Pareja needs to go now." No, we cannot do that. We need to be responsible in what we say and when we vent, and we need to give him the time to adapt to his system. There's a reason why he's coming, and there's a reason why maybe somebody more seasoned, like maybe Paulo Guerrero or maybe another player that it's a high profile player, is not coming to Orlando, and he is. And I want to say that it's good that the club is investing in young, talented players. I see, I talked to a friend, and I give the mic to Dave. I talked to a friend today from Sporting KC. He's a huge fan of Sporting KC. He covers Sporting KC there. He told me, "I'm so upset that Gioacchini, we didn't get not even $1 out of what happened with Gioacchini." He sees this as their Mueller. So Gioacchini is their Chris Mueller, Sporting KC. So what if he excels in Orlando? And we have another, Daryl Deacon moment. He's trying to sell himself to go to the U.S. men's national team. That's his goal. Let's give him a chance, and he can play 2 roles, which I think that's what we need. We need the wing and we need a 9. So I think that's perfect. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I think that a lot of people feel that Europe has to be a one way street, that if you come back and you are not coming back to retire, that somehow you have been a failure. Players move all the time, guys. Players move all the time. Excuse me. I'm willing to give Nick here an opportunity, and he seems like a wholesome guy. Looking at his social media, mom, dad, sister, brothers, he looks like a wholesome dude that just again we had this conversation on Twitter, people that follow me, about the qualities that Oscar Pareja wants on his players, and they have to be beyond the pitch. How is this person's character off the pitch? Is this person a problematic individual? Is this a person whose ethics and whose values are going to compromise the image of the club, the quality of play. And I want to remind everybody that before Oscar Pareja, this club had players being arrested. This club had players engaging in domestic violence issues. This club had issues of uh, players being banned from parks for drunkenness. This team had a lot of infidelities that embarrassed this club. There's a lot of things that has happened before, and of course, yes, I know everybody's gonna bring up the Gonzalez issue, the kid that came in. I think it was like 2021, got arrested, but you can nail them all, I say. But this is a guy that is super talented. I want to say, listen, Daryl Dike here, a machine. Went to the championship, destroyed every team. He played my little League Two, fourth division team, Stevenage, and I watched the highlights, and they make him look silly. They didn't score; they lost. West Brom lost that game 2-0, and both goals were for defensive mistakes that Daryl Dickey made. I'm sad to say. So, friends, just because a player goes to Europe doesn't mean they are better. Just because a player comes back doesn't mean they're bad. So let's support these guys. If you're wearing purple, you're my dude. I will support you till the end of the earth. And that's all I have to say about that. I know Paola will agree with me on that respect,
Yeah,
because we had this conversation on Sunday about you know us as individuals always promoting fan of the club, not the result. I think Luis, we need to make that our mission statement, because we need to
sure.
turn the fans into just that, fans of the club, not the result.
We're 17 people live right now, only 5 likes. Please drop us a like to get to more people. The more likes we get, the more YouTube recommends us to other people so they can spread the word. Let's read some comments here. Citrus FC says, where are the goals to justify a signing? Well, again, who else are you going to get? Um, an international, you're going to sign an international DP in the middle of the season. I'm putting myself in the shoes of Luis Musi and Ricardo Moreira. I mean, I knew that any new signings that are coming in the middle of the season are going to be either MLS or within the league, or maybe a U.S. men's national team, like Josh Sargent or something like that, at that level. And I did not expect that they actually were going to sign somebody international like that. Like, they could have, but I think this is, like, again, it's a low risk, high reward player that needs to prove himself, is hungry to score and be a starter more than likely in some games. And again, it's let's see what he can do. He did had some good performances with the U.S. men's national team, and a lot of people, when he was not called up, were saying why was he not called up, right? So he wants to show out himself so he can maybe make the World Cup roster, right? I mean, you never know, So let's see what he can do. He says here, Orlando City Fan TV, does it hurt bringing someone that's not in season when we're getting into the crunch time of our season? Um, I mean,
Well,
we
I can't answer that, Luis.
sure.
First of all, we have to remind everybody that Gaston Gonzalez injury was not in the cards. Nobody
Yeah, it was
planned
not in the
it, not even the
cards.
player himself. He was 20 minutes away from getting, for all we know, he was 5 minutes away from being sub, and he blew his knee.
That was a curveball.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Perfect analogy. Yeah, it was unexpected. So now our plans for the wing get scuttled. So we go for Jack Mulroney, who won it out of Atlanta, and we're gonna talk about Atlanta next. Who has provided, who has been a stopgap
So
player. I was,
solid,
yeah, solid, super
solid,
surprised, super
solid.
talented, nice guy. Again, checking all the boxes of what Pareja wants, and then we add more depth into the left back situation. Listen, there's a lot of credible sources that I have talked to that say that Joe Moutinho's gone. That they're saying that, hey, listen, I gotta say it. Somebody who I trust, and don't make me look bad, is friends with Joe Moutinho's dad, and they said he's gonna be moving on to Europe. So don't be surprised because the window closes August 4th. Don't be surprised if Moutinho's out, and then this is the replacement. I believe, and I can be wrong. Please correct me. I believe Moutinho had a green card and wasn't counting as an international. So obviously, bringing an American is the right thing to do because if I'm not mistaken, we only have one international spot, which is the one that Sylvester Van der Water left open. With that said, the so that's the situation. That's the situation. I think with that we're a little be, sword against between a hard and a rock place in that particular position because the Gaston Gonzalez situation, no, it wasn't planned that way. And with all the respect to Kyle Smith, he's not a left-footed player, and he's only there because he's serviceable. It's one of those things, eureka moments where we figure out, hey, this right-footed guy can play left back decently, but he is not what we need in that position because we need a left-footed player. So I'm sorry that I jumped in, Luis. I just if
No,
I didn't
it's
say
fine. Sure, Citrus FC sounds like Vanderwater. I mean, Vanderwater was from the Eredivisie, from the Netherlands first division, and he was actually Vanderwater, one of the best players in his team. Right, he was a top prospect. So sometimes it just doesn't pan out. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of an impact. I mean, the MLS is a very physical league, and Gioacchini looks at the type of player that he can play physically. I mean, let's see him in action, right? Let's see him in action. I know people from Sporting KC are upset, are upset that he's actually signing with Orlando. So, and that's also a pretty good sign. I mean, Sporting KC, former MLS champ, play a couple MLS finals, so let's keep an eye on that too. Let's not just kill him, as soon as he got here. Felix Quijano, we still need a really good striker. That's right. I think we should have a open DP slot, hopefully opening up, and hopefully the front office does does it right and signs a high profile player. I think Orlando needs a high profile player like Luis Nani at some point, right? So for sure. Felix Quijano, when does Gales's contract run out? When do you know that, Dave? When does Gales's contract run
December.
out?
December is when
December, right?
yes.
Yeah, December. Yeah, he goes on a free. He goes on a free. Right now, actually, he can negotiate his contract with any other team. The thing is, this is how, and I'm going to say this, and again, only the truth here. Okay, Peru did not go to the World Cup, and that is a huge factor, deciding factor for Galese. Why? He loses value in a way. Not going to the World Cup would have definitely catapulted him, and it probably would have been another team would have snatched him because of the high profile, and he's going to play in the World Cup. He's going to be a two-time World Cup goalkeeper for a national team playing CONMEBOL. So Saudi Arabia could have snatched him. Turkey could have snatched him. I don't see him playing in England because of the height. Apparently that's what Peruvian media says. But I mean, it would have been nice for a team like Arsenal or even Crystal Palace think of him as a striker. But they go more for like the tall, like the Edouard Mendy type keepers, right? So, but definitely Portugal. Peru didn't go to the World Cup. That decreases his value completely. And I think the only offer right now on the table, believe it or not, it is Orlando City. So if I'm Orlando City right now, I honestly will, sign him up right now, you know, you know, and not wait till December because you're gonna give him a lot of time to think, and then that's when teams are gonna get him on a free, and he can definitely then have a higher chance to go. Citrus FC, we need to do anything to keep Gales, the best keeper we've had since Gallardo in USL.
Amen
Oh,
on that.
oh, that's right.
Gallardo was fantastic. People
Oh,
forget that because
Gallardo.
they all they see is the attractive, handsome Mexican guy with a microphone. They forget that man was a machine back
He
in
was
the
a
day.
machine. He was a beast. He was a beast. Every time I see him, it's kind of weird, believe it or not, because I mean, he's such a phenomenal person. Like he no ego at all. He shakes your hand. He looks you in the eye, like freaking down to earth. And it's weird because I support Orlando since inception, and seeing him now walking, hey Lewis, how you doing, my friend? I'm like, oh shoot, like is this real? Like type of thing, right? No, but honestly, no, he's a phenomenal player, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we need to definitely make Alesse, a staple here in the city, for sure, and make him. I mean, he knows he loves the city. I know for a fact, and he wants to stay here many years. But he also has a family to feed, family to take care of. He has a family to vouch for, and if they put him a whole buttload of money, and he's on a free, and his agents telling him, hey, this is all for you, you know. Now,
Ludicrous to think that we can go and grab a player of his quality after what we saw this week. It definitely is. Listen, I'm not the type of guy to fall in love with players because they come and go, like we always say. But Pedro Galese, first of all, the impact that Orlando has had in his life, his personal life,
oh
has
yeah,
been
sure.
immense. We have seen a transformation of Mr. Party Animal into a laser focused individual. You can see, his family, his kids, which are about to enter the school system.
Yeah,
That's another factor. I mean, not for nothing, my friends. The guy's getting paid in dollars on time. His family is living in a nice neighborhood in a city where language is not a problem for them. Their needs are taken care of. They have friends.
yeah,
It again. There's a Peruvian community here that supports him, that respects him, that gives them the freedom to just go do their thing without having people. Can I take a picture? Can you send a video
yeah.
message to this? So that we have to remember. That we have to remember. And I am proud to say that Pedro Galese is an Orlando City player because
Yeah.
the guy after that devastating loss in Qatar, and for the guy to and the club gave him the opportunity, just take a few days, diffuse his, I know my
Oh,
boys need me, jumped on that jet, got there and played, and has been giving us the performances. I mean, again, um just within reason, let's give him something that says I want to stay here.
yeah, for sure. And just to add here, I think you know he was another low risk, high reward player, and Orlando has experience in high risk, low reward. Adrian Winter, the lover voice. Don't forget, he was a high risk, low risk, high reward player. So let's see what Orlando can pull off. No, Galese came from a failure in the Mexican League. Tiburones, they benched them. Veracruz benched them. Didn't want nothing to do with him. He ended up moving back to Peru to Alianza Lima
And
to
the
play.
club died, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Karma's a B, right? So I'm saying that club died. He went to Peru. Uh, a lot of people question him coming back from MX, and here comes Orlando City. You know, they got him into a very cheap deal. He was one of the underpaid goalkeepers in the MLS. His salary, you guys can check it out online. What his salary is, I'm sure it's still there. And you can see Brad Guzan getting paid 800K. Brad Guzan, 800K, and he's delivering those type of performances. That's what I'm saying. So low risk, high reward. Gioacchini, Orlando has some experience on that. Let's see what they can do with that, right? Felix Quijano says, what are you guys' prediction for the Arsenal game? Hopefully, because I'm a Chelsea fan, I will love Orlando to defeat them 2-0.
Nobody needs to get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna play, but we need those points for Philly, for sure.
I wouldn't play anybody from
Yeah,
the starting lineup. Mm-mm.
uh, I mean, if I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I mean, we should definitely have Taylor, Thomas Williams. I would love to see, Moises Tablante, having some minutes. Maybe have Erjan Kara as your striker, Moises Tablante right behind him. I mean,
Rivera.
this is the opportunity to experiment and also prepare the players for what's coming in Philly, because Philly is the best team in the East. Whether you like it or not, whether they have boring players, people say, no, but they have boring players, they play a boring system. I mean, they are the best team in the East, and this for a reason, right? And I think this Arsenal game, we got to take it as a practice, and we need to definitely get some players that are going to, Javier Otero. It will be good to see him too. We already signed him for a couple of days. It would be good to see Javier Otero. I'll be honest with you. I mean, what if Arsenal looks at him and sees, hey, I see this guy behind my Turner, and then I don't know, right? I think it's a great opportunity to get the team ready and try to practice what they want to put on the pitch against Philly, because that's the most important game in my opinion.
No, absolutely. So, because time it's like water in our hands. We're moving on, I guess, to the Atlanta
Yeah.
game, and I would like for Paola to start us with that on her impressions, because obviously it's the rare opportunity that we had to in this podcast to just be like physically right next to each other as the things unfold. So, Paola, lead us into your impressions about the Atlanta game.
Impressions about the Atlanta game. I was praying the entire game for no injuries. And you can ask you can ask David about it, because that turf, let me tell you something. I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." Because I'm thinking about the Red Bull game, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Atlanta. Focus. So, Atlanta, beautiful set piece about Pereira because of Jake Mulroney. Because this dude, he's not scoring goals, but he's taking opportunities for us to get us set pieces like this. See, people, it's not always scoring goals, it's looking for this awesome opportunities to get set pieces like this. And I'm happy for Pereira, because it felt so cruel to score a goal like this in front of Atlanta fans. They were like, it was cold as ice, let me tell you. So but then we settled. We settled. We settled. Um those subs that Oscar Pareja made, I didn't like them. I'm gonna blame the dude. I love Oscar, but it was on him. Um, he throw um the game. Pato should have been in that game earlier, not in the 88, 88, 86 minutes. Not at that time. So I wish we couldn't let that set piece scored for Atlanta. It was sad, but at the same time, thank to San Pedro Galese for those saves. Um, the audacity for MLS not putting him on the MLS bench or whatever it is, because
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
crazy.
It's that's the audacity. Like,
No one from Orlando, man. It's
no one for
unbelievable. We're
Orlando.
fifth. We're
No one
fifth MLS. Are
And
you serious?
they put this dude from Atlanta. Like, that's the
Who?
audacity.
Joseph Martinez?
No, no, the dude that he
Oh,
The
just
guy
left.
that
Araujo.
scored. Oh,
Araujo.
come
Araujo.
on.
Luis Araujo. Well, I
Listen,
mean,
in that, and I'm sorry,
Oh
Paula,
no, no,
I
go
don't
ahead,
want to
go
interrupt
ahead.
you. I watch that goal on my TV, freeze frame it, and what happened there was what Paula and I were, and your fiance, we were talking all game. There was fans with whistles in the supporter section. There was fans with whistles in the supporter section. I was able to confirm that with people that were at the game friends that follow Atlanta and friends that follow Orlando City. Both sets of groups were frustrated at the fact that security did not confiscated these whistles and threw those people out, because what I was told from people that were there was the Orlando goal happened because the Atlanta goalkeeper was surrounded by all these whistles, and he did not know that the ref had already blown his whistle for us to take a free kick. And you know what? In all honesty, we don't have to wait for anybody. You know, they gave us the opportunity. We took it. We scored. We don't have to apologize for that. But the goal that happened for them, there was two or three false starts, and if you watch the video, you see the ref pointing to his whistle, saying, "It's me. Okay, I'm about to blow the whistle," because they kept blowing the whistle, and what ended up happening is Andres Perea keeps the goal scorer on side, because Andres Perea gets, I don't know,
Confused.
loses his place. Right, he loses his place, and you can see he's far out. The Atlanta player looks back, sees what's going on. Basically, the kicker kicks it there, and Pedro was expecting the ball to fall, and you can see him getting ready
Yeah.
to catch the ball. And at that point, the Atlanta player just basically hits the ball in, and it was too late. If Pedro would have had expected them to attack the goal that way, I'm pretty sure that he would have had stopped it. But unfortunately, that's what happened. A shame that fans are violating one of the clauses of the MLS fan code of conduct, which is interfering with the referee's job, which is to be the enforcer of the rules of the game. And
It was
I'm
Purata. Purata was the one who
Yeah,
scored that goal.
yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's a mediocre center back. That's honestly, that's just my personal opinion. I think that's gonna be the only goal he's gonna score in a long time.
Of
Uh,
course.
and I wanna definitely say a couple of things regarding this game. And aside of Pedro Galese, look, the Lions came out to me from the get go with a lot of intensity. I honestly was very surprised the way they were handling the game, and Orlando just controlled the play, with Mauricio Pereira right there, and they won a lot of set pieces and convert them none until the free kick. Uh, at least the one for the free kick that made him count, which in my opinion that's great. But honestly, this is where in my opinion, the game completely turned for Orlando. You cannot think that just one goal is going to do it. Yeah, I mean, there was no play after that. I mean, Atlanta dominated every single aspect of the game after that. I mean, let's just be completely honest. Atlanta had 18 shots on goal the whole game. Orlando had three. you know, uh, and also the fouling. It is a derby. For us, it's a derby. At least for Orlando City fans, it's a derby. I don't know for Atlanta, but for Orlando fans, they got Orlando had 12 crosses. They got 21 crosses. Um, you know, 12 fouls for Orlando, 8 fouls for Atlanta. It was a very, very choppy game. And unfortunately, Orlando got the draw. That goal should have never occurred. It was a miscommunication in the defense, whether somebody beeped or whistled or whatever. But the changes, like Paula was saying, the changes and the changes didn't work. You know, you know, the subs did not work at all. Unfortunately, I don't know. You know, taking out Kara, putting Tesho there, Andres Perea. So it's like when those changes came, I thought, okay, we're gonna park the bus, right? And again, when we play against a team like maybe Inter Miami, a team that's doing pretty bad in every single like level, mid, attack, defense, it could be we could definitely maybe park the bus and win, right? But when you're playing Atlanta United, that whether it's dead last or but they have exciting players, players that are still making some traction there. You cannot give them that space. You cannot just park the bus with them. You have to have some sort of level of attack, and that's where I think, in my opinion, they kind of misjudged, and the subs did not work out at all, and Orlando was cornered. I was actually surprised that Orlando actually tied the game, because Atlanta could have scored a couple, and that tells you there's something there. They don't have Joseph Martinez. I think he should be leaving next season. If I'm Atlanta
Mhm.
fans, I'm shipping him out. Dom Dwyer was close twice to score. Joseph Martinez, I don't know what he did, but he's not the Joseph Martinez of old. So,
Right.
I mean, those things you got to fix, because when Orlando plays against Seattle Sounders, they play against the Sounders, they play against teams that are on a higher level than Atlanta. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle if we keep doing that. We need to be still attacking and still be protagonists. Feel like we are protagonists at least of the play.
And Luis, if you look at the stats, they are scary looking. 18 shots for Atlanta, three for us,
Yeah,
four on target for them, one for us, which obviously the goal. Possession 62 to 38.
yeah,
Chances created one, us zero. Corners 10 in for us too. This was complete domination of Atlanta. They dictated the tempo. Paola mentioned to me that she was surprised about how the turf played out. For us that we have watched games on turf, it was expected. And yes, if Pato's goal would have gone in,
yeah,
right now we'll be ripping our clothes off and screaming to the heavens. But they also had an opportunity by very dangerous Joseph Martinez that had it gone in, forget about it. And Tom Dwyer doing things that he never did here, not even
exactly.
in USL, not even in USL, things that he never did in USL, to the point that he actually approached Pedro Galese
Yeah, he did.
because he thought he had broken his arm because he kicked that ball with a lot of strength, a lot of torque, and Pedro Galles stopped it. And if you see, live, I thought he broke his arm. That's what, or at least his wrist. That's what I thought. Several people approach him. Are you okay? When you see players from the opposing team sort of like checking on your player, it's professional concern. Are you okay? Are you fine? Will you continue? Because obviously, this is a brotherhood. I mean, not for nothing, Don Dwyer played here. He knows Pedro. There's a friendliness there. And the last thing you want to do is break somebody's arm. But it was an incredible. It would have been a golazo. Trust me, that had gone in, the Atlanta fans will be sending us that on repeat from here till next year. But again, Pedro Gales has saved us from the embarrassment and the humiliation. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. These are teams that are, and I told Paola this last night. I am tired of, and I have said it in this podcast many times. I am tired of Orlando City bringing people from the dead. Bringing people from the dead. These teams, their seasons, in my opinion, should be done. But there we go, giving points to teams that have no business being in the playoffs. Um, Giving hope to a fan base that, listen, that place was empty. They before this game, they're like, oh, I'm gonna give up on my season tickets. I'm not gonna go to the games anymore. And Orlando City comes to town, and all of a sudden they're reinvigorated. We need to stop that, which obviously at the end of that game started, my friends, the puppy out. And I would like to throw my hat in the ring about this.
Sure.
Um, Personally, David Valentin, the individual, right? Me, this is not, I'm not talking about my co host or this podcast. Me personally, I like Oscar Pareja, the person, the individual. I think his values, his morals, his ethics go in line with what I want in a manager, and go in line with a person that I can show my respect to. Oscar Pareja is a hardworking individual. First one to go into 1000 Bill Beck Boulevard. That's our training facility, in case you're wondering. And last one to leave. This is the guy that turns the lights on, starts the coffee, and the guy that shuts the lights off. And I believe, if you have watched my video on my YouTube channel, The Legendary David, where I explain my vision on what leadership should be, I laid out our history with managers. While Oscar Pareja, and this is all I'm gonna say about this subject, while Oscar Pareja came in at a moment of turmoil, steadied the ship, got us to where we needed to be. Um, it's perfectly okay for fans to question if a better manager can take us to the promised land. And again, we haven't played Open Cup yet. We haven't finished the season. For all we know, we win Open Cup, we win MLS, we win Supporter Shield with Oscar Pareja, and this conversation it's useless and null and void. But what I'm afraid, Luis and Paola, and with this I finish, is that we are turning into a culture where if fans say, hey, maybe we need to start looking in a different direction, then that person is attacked as, oh, you are not supporting the team, you hate the team, blah blah blah. It's okay to say that. And in my video, I actually mentioned a story where I took a leadership class in the congregation I'm a member of, and our rabbi said there's two types of leaders. There's Moses and Joshua's, and for those that are not Christian or Jewish or are not religious at all, are not familiar with the story, I'll give you the 1 minute uh, review of that. Um, when he said some leaders are like Moses, well, Moses is the one that takes the people from slavery, deals with all the issues 40 years in the desert, and basically conditions these people to believe that they can go into the promised land and conquer it. He gets the people to the shore of the Jordan River, and then Joshua takes over. And Joshua is the one that takes them to the promised land and conquers and everything. So basically, what Mara was trying to say is, some people, for different seasons, there's a leader. They're like, perhaps Oscar Pareja is our Moses, the one that has to deal with all the turmoil, all the divisions, all the problems, and sets us up for success for another leader to take over. That could be a possibility, and that we need to explore, that we need to introspectively look at ourselves. His contract expires this year. The Wolves have given him reasonable amount of time and weapons to take us forward. It is to the people that sign the checks if Oscar Pareja is given another season. And whatever happens, I will support the club, and I will support, obviously, our manager, who's a fantastic individual. But like Luis has asked us many times when this subject is brought up, if we let him go, who is going to take that position? And with that, I give the microphone to the guys.
Yeah, when it comes to Oscar Pareja, is a coach that has changed the face of Orlando City for the better. Orlando City was as a club that was heading towards being the Orlando Magic 2.0, and he grabbed the same players that were failures on the one season and made them into the MLS Cup, MLS's back final. The same players. People question why Junior Russo was signed. People question why Luis Nani was signed in the beginning. They became cornerstones of the club. He revitalized the career of Luis Nani. Luis Nani was coming from Europe, not being a very high profile player. He excelled here to the point that he's right now he played in Italy one season, and now he's playing in Australia in a top club there. So This is thanks to his coaching staff too. Now, yes, change is good, change is better, but who are you going to put in his place, right? In the middle of a season, are you going to go ahead and just cut him in the middle of a season? How responsible is that, right? And I think it's very responsible to say that. We need to definitely see our options. Who are you going to get? Bruce Arena? You guys want Bruce Arena? You guys want who do you guys want? Ricardo Gareca? It's gonna be $7 million. Ricardo Gareca, Gabriel Heinze, he's available. Sebastian Becachese. Probably you're like, who's that? Who we're gonna get? Uh, Jason Christ 2.0. I mean, exactly right. Miguel Angel Ramirez, is he gonna come over here? So, I mean, you have a lot of coaches, but in order to make them succeed too, you got to give them the keys of the castle, right? And I think Pareja with those keys have gotten the club into the playoffs contention with a team that is doesn't have a lot of aside of Luis Nani. At some point, there really wasn't a lot of flair, right? If you think about it, there wasn't like a signing like maybe, I don't know, Zlatan Ibrahimovic or maybe Carlos Vela or Gareth Bale, right? It's been a team that has gone to the playoffs and battled. Now, I think there's going to be some additions and some depth in the team coming in for next season. And let's see what happens, right? I believe it's too soon to say. Let's see after US Open Cup. Let's see what happens, right? In my opinion, I think that'll be the best, most accurate decision. Do I want him to stay? For sure. You know, where do I see Oscar Pareja? I think he'll be a better coach than Berhalter for the U.S. men's national team. There's a possibility. He knows the system in the MLS at the palm of his hand. He could get into the. What if he gets to the U.S. men's national team? He can. He definitely can. He's capable. Now, in my opinion, he's better than Berhalter, if you ask me. But you know, who are you going to get, right? Who are you going to get now? What coach? That's going to be a question to discuss. But I mean, I will rather discuss this when when Orlando, you know, uh, is in the U.S. Open Cup final, and let's see, if Orlando loses the U.S. Open Cup final, reaching the finals, we got Pareja delivering a final of MLS's back and a final in U.S. Open Cup. Now it's up also to the players to. It happened to Ricardo Gareca in Peru. He had full trust in the players, and the players failed him. They didn't deliver, and that's why Peru didn't go to the World Cup. Now I'm not saying it's the same here, but I'm saying is that also the players need to have some sort of responsibility. The coach can absorb everything, every single ounce of it. So, the defense needs to be subpar. It needs to be on point in order to excel too. In my opinion, defenses win championships. So we need to boost our defense. We need to also boost our attacking third. And let's see, personally, change is good, but also who do you give the keys to the kingdom to? In my opinion, is the team cannot lose its identity. And I think Oscar Pareja has established an identity for Orlando City. No other coach has done that in Orlando. No Jason Christ, Ainchi maybe, but he didn't have a chance, in my opinion, to maybe take the team under his wing. He was controlled by former ownership that wanted to put certain type of players in certain type of positions, and it wasn't working his way. And unfortunately, the results were there, and then they let him go. They let Inchi go, right? And people till this day they're upset about it. And now Inchi excelled in Minnesota United. He reached important things in Minnesota United. He still haven't won the big one, but he reached it. Now, what if Pareja leaves Orlando, reaches U.S. men's national team, and wins the big one? or he gets up there, or goes to a different team and wins the big one, right? This is the Orlando cycle. It happens even in basketball. Everybody wins the big one outside of Orlando, and they don't win the big one in Orlando. I think we need to be patient. I think we need to definitely know who we're going to give the keys to the kingdom to before we jump and say he needs to go. I think that's just my opinion. I don't know what Paola thinks.
I don't know how to follow that. That's the perfect things. Like people needs to like calm down. I know that we're not in a good position right now because we're not getting the result that we want to see. Um, we just need some depth. Let's see what it happens.
And we're
Patience
fifth.
is the key. Patience. I trust in Ricardo Moreira. Let's see what happens. When Oscar got here, he didn't had, like David said, Frankenstein. We he had a Frankenstein team. He had some that he needed to work with. Then he was little by little converting it of what he wanted it. Now he needs to look for what he needs to adapt and what why not. But if the team, whatever the front office wants to fire him, needs to be at the end of the season, not in the middle of the season. Great guy. I don't think if they're gonna fire him, it needs to be now because I'm focused on the Open
Right.
Cup. So let's see what happens.
It will disrupt everything too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
no, no.
I mean, look at this picture right here. I mean, look at how many lives he's impacted. He's positively impact lives. Like,
Yeah.
look at Antonio Carlos, the type of player he is. He went from Palmeiras, you know, Junior Urso. He was playing Corinthians. He played Chinese league. Like, look at Pato. Pato came here, and people judge and question his signing. He's done the same thing he did with Nani. Now he's done it with Pato, like the same thing. So this is a pattern that we need to definitely look, and we need to get the right pieces of the right players in the right positions, and then I think we'll be fine. Now,
And oh, sorry to cut you off, Luis,
mhm,
but if people forget the first goal that Pato scored this season, when that press conference, Pato almost cried because he was saying how much that goal meant for him, and he looked at Oscar and he was describing that because he was saying the only person who believed on him was Oscar Pareja, and he was
yeah,
describing that moment. So people, if you forget about that, go for look for that video and mentally, um I don't know, uh YouTube it and reflect on it.
yeah, definitely. When you have a coach to express such good things about his team, his players, and literally tells them, "Hey, I take the bullet, not you."
Hmm.
That means a lot. Not a lot of coaches do that. You wouldn't believe how many coaches in South America. They're like, "No, it's their fault, dude. Me? Ha! No, I did everything I could. But hey, if you're putting, I'm not a magician, dude. I'm not a magician. There's a lot of coaches that says I'm not a magician. He's never said that. He's taken the bullet many times, and let's see what happens, right? I think it's a fair assessment on his on what's happening with Oscar is after
Hmm.
the U.S. Open Cup. I think
Absolutely.
because what if we win silverware,
Yeah, exactly. We're getting
right?
ahead of ourselves.
Right, of course. So, I mean, let's read some comments here. Let's say Jared Dawn. I want to say hello to Jared. It says, great show, everyone. Thank you for doing this. No, thank you, Jared,
Thank
for being here. Thank you to everybody that's online right now as well. Citrus FC, Pato at the end, hitting the post, made all of our hearts stop. I do agree.
you. Hmm.
And, Citrus FC, I heard the whistles, they do that every Atlanta United game. Shake and
Drive
And the
bake.
me
league needs to
nuts.
intervene.
Ugh.
And they need to definitely stop that for sure. Dennis Simmons, this is who steps up to generate our second goal against Red Bull next Wednesday? Play Pato. Yeah, I think
Facundo
so.
Torres, Urso. I mean, the
I
list
mean
goes.
there, yeah, I mean there is a lot of options. I think like we were saying also in previous episodes, we need to have a somebody else, because have you seen how many tackles Pereira gets?
Yeah,
Like
I
they,
know.
because people know two are gonna guard Pereira, because if you take Pereira out, the whole no one's gonna attack in Orlando.
Hmm,
So
hmm.
we need to have an ace of spades right there. And who's, in my opinion, the most suitable person? We have two. We have Pato, who could play the 10, and we have
Hmm.
also Facundo Torres. I think we should definitely, instead of giving him the freedom to go from right to left, right to left, just say, hey, man, you become the 10 if Pereira, we're saving him, or let's say we're playing an inferior team, right? Let's say we're playing somebody that's in the bottom of the league, right? Let's go ahead and put maybe Facundo Torres as a 10 and try him out. Why not? We'll have options there on the 10. So
And I like what you mentioned, Luis, because this usher us to our last topic of the night. Um, there's 12 games left, my friends. There's 12 games left. That's 36 points, six away, six at home. And quickly, I'm going to remind you that 50 points is the magic number to make playoffs. And that means that out of those 36 points, we need 30 to hit the 50 out of, because right now we are at, my goodness, I wrote it down and I can't find it. We are at how many points we have right now? 30?
30
Okay.
30.
points.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So yeah, so we need 20. I'm sorry. So we need 20 points. So this is what the month of July has left for us. We got the Philadelphia game at home. Then we have uh, DC away. Then we go August. We have New England home, Red Bulls away, Charlotte away, New York City at home, Seattle at home. Seattle's the only Western team that we're going to be facing on these last 12 games of the season. Um, we're going to be in the month of September. We're going to have Miami away, Philadelphia away, Atlanta at home, Toronto at home. And this is a critical month. The last two games of the season in October, New York City away and Columbus at home. And the reason why I tell you guys that is critical, last year, our playoff pass was punched on the very end of the season. That last game when we went to Montreal, and Sebas Mendes made himself huge, and Daryl DK sort of sealed the deal. This is critical because there's a lot of teams from the fourth to the 11th position as of the recording of this podcast that are going to be fighting for those last spots. My opinion, my friends, New York City Red Bulls, Philadelphia, they're safe. They're going to be on the top of the table unless they have something catastrophic happens to them. I see them staying there. I don't think we're going to catch them up, unfortunately. So out of FC Cincinnati, Columbus, Montreal, Charlotte, Miami, New England, Atlanta, Orlando, and what I call the dark horse, Chicago, who's right there in that borderline. Out of those teams, FCC or Cincinnati has the easiest with Chicago and DC. The hardest is going to be for Charlotte with Philadelphia and Red Bulls. Columbus has Red Bulls and us. Montreal has DC and Miami. Miami has only one game in October, so they're gonna be handicapped. If they need extra points, their season may be over because they don't have
Oh,
Uh-oh, we lost David.
I think his internet, I think his internet died. Let's see. I think, yeah,
Yep.
he got frozen. He got like Elsa and Anna. I want to thank all the 10 people online right now. Let's read some comments and see if
He
by the
can come
time.
back.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's back. He's back right here. There you go, Dave. Go ahead.
all right. So, oh, what happened? That something happened.
No, it was your internet. Your internet went out.
You went
Oh
out.
my goodness, are you
Yeah, yeah,
serious? Where did I
yeah.
left you guys off?
You mentioned Columbus, and then
Okay, okay. So was I going over the last two games for each
that's
team?
right. That's
Yep.
right.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so if I mention Columbus, okay, where's Oh, well, okay, so Columbus has Red Bulls in Orlando City, Montreal, DC, and Miami, Charlotte, Philadelphia, and Red Bulls. Miami has one game, which it makes it a handicap for them because if they don't have the points by that point, it's a done season. Montreal, New England has Atlanta and Chicago. Atlanta has New England and New York City, and Orlando, New York City, and Chicago. The dark horse, like I call it, Chicago has FC Cincinnati and New England. FC Cincinnati has the easiest last two games of the season, and Charlotte has the last two. And in my personal opinion, Toronto and DC, their seasons are done. They just don't have the talent and the personnel to catch up to make at least seventh place. So that's why we have, my friends, 12 games. We have to make the best out of them. We are going to be playing four teams that are above us as of the recording of this podcast, and eight teams that are below us as the recording of this podcast. So, what we talked about, the fact that we need to score more than one goal, ever present, food for thought, for the conspiracy theories, for the papi outs people, and for those people that feel that we're still missing players that we need in order to get us to the very least at seventh place.
All right. Let's see. Let's read some comments. It says Veronica Nash. How you doing, Veronica? It says, please let Jensen hit from outside the box. I agree. I think shot from distance need to be something Orlando could apply, in my opinion, and also set pieces. That's definitely something that I need to get better at for sure. What are your thoughts, Dave? Hitting it outside the box, like Veronica Nash said. I think that's a good, you know, good thing she's asking. Hitting it outside the box.
Well, for Jansen, yeah, I liked his power shot. It's critical. You know, if we shoot more in the box, things happen. We seen it. We can definitely not have a game like the one we had against Atlanta. And I gave you guys what we have ahead in the season, who we have it against, where and when, and how many points we need. So 20 points. It's a race for 20 points to make that playoff spot.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. It's going to be a good road towards the playoffs. And before we close the show, I want to encourage everybody to sign up to our social media. We're at Twitter at LPO_podcast. We're also on Facebook, YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Click on the notification bell for more notifications. Also, you know, thank you guys for always supporting us and supporting the channel, supporting our social media accounts. We appreciate it a lot. And again, if you're trying to definitely, you're studying communications, you're starting, you know, you love soccer, you know, you want to contribute to the city beautiful, you know, you can join us here at Loud and Proud to get to cover OCSC, OCB, Orlando Pride, writers, journalists, City Pride fans. Send us a DM. We're looking for you essentially to join us here at half of the season already and to season 2023. Um, definitely, it's going to be good to have more people also in the panel, and also helping us out with you know, writing and writing blogs for our website and all of that, articles, things like that. So if you're interested and you want to get to cover Orlando City, Orlando Pride, and OCB, DM me. You can find me at LPO Podcasts or Pineda underscore ORL. Less comments there, Dave. Before we close, you want to say anything else?
This Saturday, show up to the game against Philadelphia. Our boys need support. I am pretty disappointed at the fact that they scheduled the Chelsea Arsenal game at the same time. So obviously, it's gonna subtract some of our fan base. I don't blame anybody that goes to that game if that's your one of your favorite teams. Obviously, it's not an everyday opportunity, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, go support the boys. I'm gonna be on vacation. I'm gonna miss this game, unfortunately. I'm going down to the pink territory. to spend some days with the family and relax and all that good stuff. But I'm definitely gonna be back for the Open Cup game with my boys. They want to join me, make some memories. I'm super excited about that. Every time I go with just my kids and I think it's a moment that I always treasure. And with that said, thank you very much for all the support. Please follow me on Twitter, Florida underscore man 76, the legendary David on YouTube. Uh, excuse me, where I'm blogging in Spanish and in English, and also you get my opinion on the uh, pareja situation. And with that, I give the microphone to Paola for last words.
Um, like David said, I'm going to Saturday's game. I'm not going to the pig territory. I'm not going on vacation. I don't have that fortune. Not yet. I'm starting what David left, but in Spanish. Tiro de esquina. I'm trying to start with Alec. We tried to record it yesterday, but his mic didn't work, so we recorded in blooper. So whatever, we're gonna record it again. So be on the lookout. Tiro de esquina again on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, Lola underscore Pau 13. And dump us a like on LPO, please. And on YouTube, more for more subscribers, please, because we wanna bump that
Yeah,
up as well. So thank you guys.
yeah, we're at 414 subscribers, guys. So thank you to everybody that's been supporting us. If you want to spread the word about your YouTube channel, we have a lot of good material. We're also gonna be announcing this soon, but there's gonna be surprises for all Pride fans. So be on the lookout, Pride fans. There's going to be some news coming out of LPO very soon regarding the Orlando Pride and also OCB. So just stick around and thank you so much for your support. And vamos Orlando, right, guys?
Vamos
Vamos
Orlando.
Vamos
Orlando.
Orlando. Let's go. Thank you.